Hello everyone, welcome back to Satoshi Snack. My name is Marco from Mind the Chart, and every once in a while I make this video update on cryptocurrency market. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, let's go ahead and do that. We also have our social media crypto app called Satoshi Snack. You can find the links down below. It's a useful app, so be sure to create your own account, and it is absolutely for free. So let's start with Bitcoin. So what we have here, we were watching the last time we checked in this rising wedge. If you remember, if you didn't watch last video, I suggest you to do so. Watch the video and then go back here. So we were having this rising wedge, and maybe you're wondering why a rising wedge. And I explained the last time, if you're going on the weekly time frame, you will see here that we had before this weekly bull flag confirmed without follow through. So every time you have a bull flag or bear flag without a follow through in the right direction, you will get a wedge. So that's what we had here, a rising wedge. So rising wedge was the first red flag we had. Upper wick, similar to this one. So once we detected this one, we started to watch for a daily bear flag, because we, in this point here, we touched the bottom for the third time of the wedge, and now and then we had this inside bar, daily inside bar. The inside bar broke bullish without not enough continuation, actually, with a lot of bearish volume around. So there were just these two candles without bullish momentum, and then we stopped here 66,400 pretty much, and then we got our bear break. So it wasn't a daily bear flag anymore, because we retraced more than 0.38 on the Fibonacci level. We actually reached the 0.618. And so I say to myself, well, this is not a bear flag anymore. But with enough bearish volume, we could have actually broke in lower low. So that's what we got here, lower low. So now where you want to deploy your capital for an entry. I was watching actually the 4-hour RSI for an oversold bounce, and we pretty much got there. If we were going on the 4-hour time frame, we would see we actually got to the 4 hours and more, even further. So actually we got to the teens pretty much here. You can see 26 on the 4-hour RSI. So it was pretty beaten up. So then we had this oversold bounce, but now we still didn't change the 15-minute trend. So we need first to change the 15-minute trend, then hourly trend, then go back for the 4 hours, and then we can start with the daily bounce. But for now, it's still weak Bitcoin. And we were watching this level, 60K, for support. But also, once we broke below the 62,200, we confirmed the weekly top. So if we're going back on the weekly time frame, actually what we are looking for now is the weekly higher low compared to this one. So what we're having here was this pattern, from the bottom here, higher high on all-time high. This was the ETF pump, pretty much the BITO pump for the ETF approval on the futures. Then we have the first correction. We went back to 58,000, then an higher high again. So we have another higher high without no continuation. So bull flag was confirmed. And then now we are looking for another higher low compared to this one, 58,000. So that's what we're looking for. So bulls are looking for an higher low on the weekly, and they are looking for this higher low on the weekly on the actually 7 EMA on the weekly, and also the 50 EMA on the daily. So that's what bulls are looking for. They were looking for a bottom fish to this level before, so this one. So this was actually a bottom fish, and we have this upper wick now, lower wick. We actually recovered a little bit, but not too much. So now what we need is an hourly trend change, the least. But the 12 EMA is keep making resistance ever since the 15th of November. So we have this resistance, and we keep touching and be rejected. So now is the third time is happening. So we need to change the hourly trend first if we want the hourly bounce to get going and get started. So that's what I'm watching right now. So Bitcoin is not is not in a position for a bounce right now. We need more fuel. We need something more from the bulls. And every bounce now, from now on, will be shorted. Every resistance we are going to get, be sure that the bears are there to short that position. So we got to be sure now that we can change the hourly trend and then get going. And also we have the Bitcoin dominance didn't move a lot. Bitcoin dominance was steady in this daily equilibrium. So we don't have a lot of help watching the Bitcoin dominance. The only thing we're having here is just sideways action. So that means that Bitcoin and altcoins, they dropped together. And dropping together, they pushed the USDT dominance, which is in this broadening pattern we're seeing. And the USDT dominance was in this red zone I drew, which was actually a bounce zone to watch. So now we're watching closely this USDT dominance. Also, the dollar is pumping more than Bitcoin. So we had also the stock market weakness yesterday. It was correlated a little bit. But what I'm watching now on Bitcoin is where we can find this weekly higher low. And so you want to scale down now, probably using this 58 as a stop loss to find your weekly higher low, and then navigate until we find the lower high on the weekly. So the first thing you got to watch now is the 15-minute trend, because we had this push on the 15-minute, but we need to change the 15-minute trend. So the first thing you want to watch is 12 and 26 EMA to cross on the 15 minutes. Then you can move on the zoom out on the hourly time frame and see if we can change the trend, and so on and so forth. So that's what you want to watch, okay? So if you scale down here in these levels, as I told you the last video, this was a good position on the 4-hour EMA to start to scale down on the 200 EMA, because now you have a good average, and now you can actually scale out on the lower high that we're going to create on the 4-hour time frame. It's not the case right now, but I put here an alert. You see here, this one. This is an alert on Bitcoin crossing 62,000. So once Bitcoin cross 62,000, I will get out of my positions, 35% of my position, and maybe I will start some short position on the 12 EMA on the 4-hour, because this 12 EMA on the 4-hour will be rejection. So I can actually use some short position to cover up my longs, and it will be a nice trade in my opinion. So watch closely, okay? Regarding the Ethereum, we had this channel we were following, but Ethereum once lost this channel, it lost also the daily uptrend, and it started the weekly consolidation as well. So that what we were watching now is the 7 EMA on the Ethereum making support, and then we have the 12 EMA. We have this trend line. If we are going deeper, we have this trend line, and we actually have a lot of space to find our weekly higher low on Ethereum. It can still be a weekly bull flag if we don't break 0.38 on the Fibonacci level. So be sure to watch this one. And Ethereum as well, he had this 4-hour RSI beaten on the 200 EMA. So this 200 EMA on the 4-hour has been a real good guy for our oversold bounces lately. So we lost the channel. Now you can start to scale down if you want Ethereum in this zone and put your stop loss below $4,000, so maybe 3,800 pretty much. Also watching Ethereum Bitcoin for the 3 weeks equilibrium we have, and it still didn't move like the dominance. So we have this 3 weeks equilibrium waiting for break one way or another. If we breaks bearish, maybe we will have a bigger correction in altcoins. If we break bullish, that means the altcoins momentum bullish will continue. So we will pay close attention to this one. So ADA is still on the bottom of the channel. We were watching this channel, and actually it touched the bottom, and this is the place where you wanted to enter, because now ADA is ready to launch Sunday Swap, the DEX on the ADA ecosystem, and maybe this one will be a catalyst for ADA to replace the same action that it had before. Actually, if you see this action, it's pretty similar to what we had here. All right. So what it seems now, Bitcoin, we had the ETF approval, we had the taproot, we had everything we needed as a catalyst. So now the correction was kind of inevitable because we were too extended, in my opinion, and there weren't too much bulls around to buy, and there was a lot of leverage, so a lot of positions were liquidated. So that's what happened when you are too exposed with leverage. So you don't want to be too exposed with leverage, because everyone was calling 150K, and then, you know, when everyone is in one side of the boat, actually the boat flipped. So that's what happened. So I told you the last video, you need some cash aside in order to be prepared for this capital to deploy when everything goes down and goes south and the shit hit the fans. So that's what happened. So now ADA, that was the place where you want to enter. And we just don't want to lose this channel. It's too important. So be sure to put your stop loss below the channel or below this level, 140. If you want to scale down, that's fine. But ADA is the weaker one compared to the other ecosystem. We saw FTM, we saw Avalanche, we saw Solana, we saw a lot of ecosystem pushing forward. Even crypto.com with the Kronos ecosystem pushed a lot of forward with this the DEX launched yesterday, BVS Finance. Solana is another one with this rising wedge, and actually it lost the rising wedge as well, and now it touched the 4-hour 200 EMA. So another 4-hour 200 EMA to watch. But Solana is stronger compared to ADA. So maybe this first 4-hour RSI will be a good place to place your beat, because you want to enter before the 200 EMA. Maybe you can get an oversold bounce, you know. It's important to get the oversold bounce, because once you get the oversold bounce, you can scale out and leave some profit as your stop loss, so you can break even. So that's so important. Then we have this QE, which is Banky, because yesterday we had the launch pool on Binance, and it's been launched on Binance, and it had this pretty good price action. Then it gave everything back. So this trend line I actually drew yesterday was a nice point to re-enter with a stop loss below 0.16 for another lower high. So now we're watching a possibility of equilibrium here. So that's what we're watching. But this is a good name, because if we manage to break this level with volume and close up above this level, we can actually going upward. You know, Avalanche ecosystem is going really strong, and this might be around the bottom if we can catch it. All right. Then we have actually AVAX still in this channel, so it's one of the strongest we saw so far, and this was the 12 EMA making support once again. So now who enter here on the bottom of the channel is going as a target to the middle line of the channel. So that's what you want to watch. If you enter here, you put your stop loss below 78, and you're going toward the middle line of the channel. And by the way, this one is the strongest name because it's still an inside bar, not started the weekly consolidation. So you have this channel, you have another channel, which is this one you want to follow. So you have a lot of channels here you can follow, and that's a good one. Okay, so be sure to check AVAX. BNB still actually the dump wasn't that big because of the pool, the launch pool, so everyone staked BNB for to receive Banky. But so it actually wasn't that hard as a dump, but still is a double bottom right now. So we want to keep this double bottom on the 26 EMA. We don't want to break this below. So if we lose this level, we lose the daily uptrend and actually started the weekly consolidation. So as you can see here, this is a bar doesn't have to break bearish, because if break bearish, well, we will start the weekly consolidation even in BNB. It might be a weekly bull flag if it stopped before the 70 EMA. So if you want to enter here, you better put your stop loss below this level. And this is a bottom fish of this level you want to make. GRT, same. is going toward the bottom of the channel, but the 200 EMA kept the price. The price action was actually good before because we reached the top of the channel, and now we are actually dipping. So bearish volume increasing on the weekly. It started weekly consolidation, but it's still an uptrend. So you want to catch the weekly higher low before where you can actually. And that's it. Crypto.com is the last one we're watching. So Crypto.com was super bullish in the last few days. So this trend line was a good one. First hourly RSI oversold was the place where you want to enter, and the hour RSI oversold was the place to enter actually, and already done that pretty much. So the bounce was good on the trend line, and now this might be the first name to recover and get stronger. So the strongest name are the first one to recover. The weakest one are the ones that get another recovery. So that's it. So that's pretty much for today for the update. We'll check you in next week because I will be in Rome to the blockchain week this end of the week. So we'll check in later, and I don't know. Have a nice day.